now it's a time. Nice to meet you. And actually, to take the session just after the keynote is quite straightforward, especially really fantastic keynote. But at the end of the day, we always need to put our feet on the ground to see how generative AI is changing each aspect or topic, and that is for analytics. And my name is Faye. I'm the Gartner analyst focusing on data and analytics side of research. And thanks to join me to the future of analytics in the era of generative AI. And what I will bring you today is a mainstream future state, say 2 to 5 years out, how Gen AI can be a partner in our analytics decision-making and how AI agents can accelerate the decision-making process. So we need to plan today for what's coming in the future. All of us use map navigation app. Google Maps would suggest you the best road to take, but you're always free to use or disregard its suggestions. Just like in the business world, IT leaders are comfortable with AI to give recommendations. But how comfortable are you with AI directly making decisions in your enterprise? Seems unreliable. Well, if we were to ask this question of self-driving cars a few years ago, we may have received much the same response. But if you look around the world now, you can see how autonomous vehicles are accepted to get around the city at least. So per Gartner's survey, in 2 years, 30% of IT leaders will be more comfortable with higher level of automation, like with AI acting by itself without human intervention and less human rejects. So automation is here to stay. And we need to be prepared to embrace the future of that. So there are 3 key issues we will cover today. What is the impact of AI, or particularly generative AI, on the future of analytics? And second, how is this going to change our decision-making process? And third, what will you need to be able to actually realize such potential advancement? So let's jump right in. Organizations own lots of data, but linkage between the data and analytics are always not that clear. So we try to use analytics to bridge this gap. And with 20 years of evolution and development of analytics technologies, we establish different flavors of analytics. So start from descriptive, which answers questions around what happened. For instance, what is my sales revenue in the last quarter? So by tracking and monitoring historical data, it shows our sales performance, and it provides basic insights. But as we advance through the next step, we need to achieve the next level of insights, diagnostic, to answer why did it happen? For example, why the sales revenue dropped in last quarter. So that's where we do some ad hoc analysis, slide and dice into certain data models, and find the root cause key contributors of the business change. Like because of the product failure in the market, or the customer churn, or the inappropriate price setting, etc. And later, to make predictions about what is likely to happen in the future, such as questioning how my revenue is going to change in the next quarter. So that's where we see some augmented approach emerge here, such as machine learning, regression, classification, and prediction models, etc., to mitigate the level of human input. So notice this orange arrow in the picture. They represent the level of human intervention is required. And prescriptive, what should I do about it? For instance, with some simulations, the system can give me a proposal to optimize the price, to ensure the profitability. And with prescriptive analytics, we start to see the adoption of automation. So those decisions can be taken automatically by the system, by technology, and based on predefined rules and principles. And we will have this 4 swim lanes for over a decade. And some of you might be familiar with this graphic from Gartner articles. And on the left, you can see much of the data we traditionally use are structured data. And we use this analytics to learn from our past and predict the future for likely outcome and to shape our present. So this is today how business leaders view analytics, some sorts of dashboards showing KPIs and charts with key information you can drill down and interact with. And in some cases, there are also a little bit like augmented capability to offer a low-level AI assistance, such as data explanation. Well, the revolution we're describing today is perceptive. Perceptive is to perceive. So having and showing the ability to see and understand things quickly, especially things that are not obvious. And perceptive analytics leverages AI technologies, including AI agents, to deliver context-aware strategic insights and executable recommendations. And that continuously adapt to business conditions by monitoring and responding to analysis of structured and unstructured data. So this is what we expect the technology is going to take us over the next level to add more value. So our analytics continuum gets an extension, the fifth swim lane, perceptive analytics. And it's going to bring us deeper, contextualized, proactive insights, which is also adaptive to the changing environment. And data evolves to be multimodal. So it's no longer only structured data, but different data types like text, image, video, file, voice, etc. And generative AI allow us to combine such multiple data and to orchestrate multiple analytics methods. And perceptive analytics also accelerates this convergence. It will be infused into all the other analytics techniques we're using today. And we've always encouraged analytics not to be linear, but more like a loop. So after we take the action, we measure the outcome of the action, and we go back and iterate as necessary to get closer to the outcome we want. So this is a virtuous cycle. And it's actually not always fulfilled. On the contrary, it's very challenging for organizations to do it. That's why perceptive analytics is more advanced, because it learns, adapts, and improves as it encounters change. And there are several main drivers of perceptive analytics. First is large language model. So large language models can help we interpret and decompose a business inquiry into dedicated data and analytics questions. And fine-tuned large language models are also quite advanced in text-to-SQL tasks compared with like traditional natural language processing technologies. And the model's reasoning capabilities will also help deliver strategic plans beyond just display or forecast the numbers, but give executable decisions and actions. And then AI agents, based on large language model and other AI and workflow technologies, agents can automate and perform tasks on behalf of a user or a system. And they constantly interact and sense with the environment to maximize objectives. And they're adaptive, learning, self-trained in their business environment. And later, knowledge graph aid AI agents with contextual representations of data. So they're based on entities and relationships. What are the core aspects of everything that happens in your business? Just think about it like a digital twin of your business process. And they're the foundation of business semantics, which allows you to build up and make machine-readable business terms and definitions. And finally, to deliver contextual recommendations. And then data fabric, as a modern data management and integration design, focus on data virtualization and augment all the data pipelines, services, and semantics, and leverage active metadata analysis to automate and orchestrate data integration. And now data fabric has also evolved into multimodal data fabric to work on both structured and unstructured data. Finally, the cloud platform. Cloud platform are the infrastructure backbones for perceptive analytics. So where many large language models are hosted, and data can be processed at scale. And they're not only providing elastic computing resources to adjust to various analytics use cases, but also deliver streaming capabilities to detect all layers and change in near real time, allow human proactive intervention, like the navigation app when driving. So with perceptive analytics, we use these foundational technologies to deliver contextual, adaptive, and proactive insights and decisions. So here is an example in fast fashion business. That gives you some feeling about perceptive analytics concept. And you can see it starts from conducting some trend analysis using structured and unstructured data from social media and online platforms, and then leverage generative AI to generate a variety of different clothes designs based on our trend insights. And later, just digital publish these designs and test the potential customers' preferences and the feedback from the internet. So all of this are just before going to the real production. And then with the feedback from the internet customers, we go back to the design phase, to the trend analysis phase for our design optimization. So that's the way of we see before all the production and all the supply chain processes. And finally, just to promote and go production based on popularity of different designs. So on the back end, of course, it requires very agile and elastic production system and supply chain systems. But still, that's the future of perceptive analytics. And it's AI-driven, very proactive, context-aware, and adaptive, just as described by perceptive analytics. So there are 3 key actions to prepare for perceptive analytics. First, identify business domains and use cases that require proactive intervention. And second, integrate Gen AI-powered BI across the enterprise, and later deliver insights as embedded capabilities across different business applications. So with perceptive analytics, let's take a look on its implications on decision-making process. First, think about how decisions are made in many organizations today. So at the surface level, we're all used to seeing metrics, charts, graphics, and other visualizations, and we try to come up with a decision with this. But underneath, we ignore the big picture and context to base a decision on. And perceptive analytics brings more AI-powered strengths. So we started to benefit from augmented insights about the root cause, key drivers, where both structured and unstructured data can be utilized to gain deep understanding of the context. And then with contextual recommendations, we can embed insight and decisions in our business workflows. And finally, AI comes up with strategic plans and even adaptive and autonomous execution. So as we move deeper and deeper, the insights are more impactful. And database is one of the closest places to get a deep understanding of the relations of data. Here is an example from Databricks Genie and their deep research tool. So you may have used some deep research function from AI providers, and as you can see, it has also been applied into enterprise data area. So unlike some typical questions like what is my sales revenue, what is my marketing reach percentage, the question user can ask in Databricks deep research is, how can we optimize our marketing funnel? So it's very objective driven. And then with deep research, the system goes away and think. And it comes up with a multi-step strategic plan. So it optimizes from what happened question to why and how question. So when we start to check on the detail, it will also give us some, as you can see, some narrative analysis and some recommended practices. And furthermore, you can also click this citation in the analysis, which allows you to check on the accuracy of data, the reasoning process comes to that plan. So that's what we can see, that's the future gonna look like with AI directly make the insights and decisions. And behind us are AI agents taking over the human work on the decision process. So it's a use of AI agents across data to insight, and insight to decision. So you will have various AI agents at play. When a user request comes in, and there is an AI agent orchestrator in the middle to interpret and decompose the question and hand off different tasks, such as like get data connected, get data prepared, and generate SQL code and optimize SQL queries, choose or render certain realization, and finally, it will generate a data story to illustrate the insight and decisions. So it's kind of evolution of augmented analytics. And this also means that agents will perform and orchestrate complex tasks to accelerate, even automate the decision-making process. And it will also be a different level of autonomy. So it's not a binary choice when it comes to human-AI delegation. It's not a choice to automate or just not automate. On the contrary, it's a spectrum, as you can say. So various levels of human in the loop based on specific task and use case. So AI delegation can be used in decision support, decision augmentation, and decision automation. And if you think about this spectrum in terms of driving assistant that we mentioned at the beginning, we can go from human decide, right? Purely rely on our own driving actions to recommend. So the car system suggests a route and also give you some guidance about speed limits, traffic, etc., but still with human in control. And then to the reversibility. So the car drives by itself unless the user takes over. So the user just supervises the process, and in case there are incorrect actions. And finally, to fully autonomous. Car transport passengers from one place to another without human intervention. And similarly, in the analytics world, there are different autonomous levels that you need to decide according to your accuracy requirements, your tolerance level of wrong decisions. And for each level, you should also embed different risk mitigation practices. And there are also 3 key actions for integrating AI into decision making. So consider the iceberg underneath the data to understand the full picture, and design an agentic framework that provides deep insights by allowing technology and platform choices, and initiate a set of guidelines for assessing the level of automation in decision making. So with the changing decision making process and the involvement of AI agents, what ingredients will you need to be ready to benefit from perceptive analytics? So that's gonna across your ecosystem, your data ecosystem, your technical architectures and teams, roles, and the new collaboration approach. So that's what we're gonna discuss in this part. So firstly, agents need context to iterate and evolve. Just take a look on your enterprise data. You will find a lot of unaware context, a lot of unaware data sources, so that's a context. And that should not be overlooked. For example, traditionally, data about a customer might come from a single record within your CRM system. But contextual data about a customer includes the interactions he has had with us, with others, and his opinion and comments in our products and other products, and also his lifestyle, his preferences, and even derived context that how this behavior fits within customers with similar habits. So such context-enriched analytics bridge the gap between structured and unstructured and metadata. And the utilization of graph and vector DB will help such data interoperability and relationship understanding. And together, it will drive automated insights, decisions, and appropriate actions at the right moment. And build this contextual enriched data environment is just a prerequisite of perceptive analytics. Besides data itself, we still need a well-organized AI-powered analytics architecture to make it real? So firstly, data becomes multi-model, as we mentioned. So we'll need a multi-model data, AI-ready data layer to store and manage our data. So Gartner has a terminology called data fabric for several years. And you may have seen some vendors also use this term to name their products. I won't say what's their name. But now it also evolved into multi-model data fabric, so which enables intelligent processing and smart integration and orchestration of data, even multi-model, especially unstructured data, governance, etc. And multi-model data fabric is one of the top trends for data analytics in 2025. And many of our analysts work on this concept, and they also evaluate data vendors who are closing to this benchmark. So I would recommend you to learn more detail about this and also evaluate your vendors, your incumbent and potential vendors in the future by this criteria. And then with multi-model data fabric, there is a metadata layer. So the modern metadata management, including managing technical, operational, and also business, and also social metadata. And these all should be managed proactively. So to this stage, we're already on a good basis. But for accelerating AI with less hallucination and more accuracy, we still need a semantic layer that provides a unified and business-friendly data models, including your entities, relationships, and base matters. So that's where business rules, technology, and ontology can be used to establish your enterprise knowledge graph and build a variety of data products on top of it and embed large language models in. And then use metrics layer to extendedly focusing on standardized business metrics, KPIs, and compose your analytics products for various usage. And to ensure data observability and better serve your business users, observation engine and query translators, it can be utilized to precisely recommend KPIs and dashboards. And of course, a consumption layer on the top, where your self-service analytics, enterprise BI, and conversational analytics, other types of analysis patterns can seamlessly work on the top. And kind of permeating through, we're going to see the presence of AI agents, so which are vertically deployed in order to directly serve your line of business comprehensive data decision-making. And at the end of end-to-end governance layer, as you can see, designed based on your enterprise governance policies, principles, and rules, and with predefined guardrail in design time and monitoring orchestration governance in the runtime. So that's going to be the architecture look like for the future. Well, to enable perceptive analytics, you also need to plan for the new collaboration approach between humans and agents. So some people say human will be replaced. That's not the case. Well, some workload will be taken by agents, yes, but with more business opportunities that brought by generative AI, there are even new human roles will be created. So we need to be human ready. And analytics will still be a team sport. Let's check it. So firstly, AI engineer will start from developing data preparation agents there, and that enables widely data access. And on the other side, besides on building some generic agents, AI engineers should also be involved into some foundational work on building business action agents, such as in marketing, they will build a customer approval agent to manage the process when customer applies for our VIP membership. And then there is a dedicated data engineer to get relevant customer data in for the future customer journey analysis. So who is mainly responsible for data quality, data integrity, and operate data pipelines, all the CI/CD work? Then in the middle, there's a new role called knowledge engineer. So who is mainly responsible for developing ontology, knowledge graphs, rules, and symbolic models? And this role will work together with data engineer and AI engineer to build and operate knowledge agents. So for instance, a knowledge agent can run graph analysis to better understand customer preferences and its relationships for certain purchasing behavior. And then on the right side, decision engineer is also kind of a new role. It's responsible for creating decision models, orchestrating decision flows, and embedding decision logic into action agent. And in this customer approval case, decision engineer will frame the decision scenario and embed rules in terms of, okay, when to approve or when to reject or when to hand over to the human employees and simulate the results. And then we could use some data science techniques from data scientists to augment this decision logic. So data scientists, they can leverage the context that has been maintained by a knowledge engineer and to build a predictive analytics agent. So that can predict what the customer behavior is going to change in the future. And as the output, to continuously optimize the decision intelligence agent. And at the meantime, business analysts in marketing will keep engaging with data prep agents, data realization agents to monitor customer churn, customer satisfactions, their feedbacks and comments, and constantly to share the insight to decision intelligence agent. So as you can see, unlike humans still sitting in the front line, in the future, some workload will be taken by these AI agents. But instead of being replaced, humans will become the supervisors and orchestrators of these agents. And analytics tasks will still be very connected, continued, and composable. So Gartner predicts that by 2027, 75% of new analytics content will be contextualized for intelligent application through generative AI, and enabling composable connection between insights and actions. So finally, we would like to consolidate our action plan in one page. So from next Monday morning, think of exploring new AI capabilities and features from your incumbent vendors, but also focus on building your data foundation for the future AI. And then in the next 3 months, build a communication program to tell the value story to all the stakeholders and expand the data literacy program to accelerate the adoption of analytics. And then within the year, I hope you can establish an AI-ready multimodal data framework and design a transition from self-service enterprise reporting to the real AI-driven insights. And the goal is to build a perceptive analytics portfolio that aligns with your organization's future autonomous business. At the end of the session, I would like to share some recommendations. There are comprehensive neutral resources to help you dig deeper about what the future of analytics and track on how generative AI is transforming BI platforms and practically apply this Gen AI into your analytics. Also monitoring and market change to identify, what are the emerging vendors and platforms. And with that, I would like to thank you for your time and hope you enjoy the session and the rest of the symposium. Thank you.